Hey everybody, welcome back to our Stone Face Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here to watch some Heavenly Delusion. We got a couple comments here today, so let's go ahead and see what people have to say. We got Lanad saying, uh, you just randomly said something incredibly accurate. I won't spoil what, of course. Oh boy, we said a lot of stuff. It could be anything, Theta. It could even be the boat.
Oh, well, it comes from, well, no, you were wrong about the boat, so. But that came from episode 5, but, it's one of those without any, time stamps or anything, so. Or even indicating which person said something
But
incredibly
that would be
accurate.
spoiling.
So, yeah, we have no idea. Good to know. One of us at one point in time was right about something.
It was probably me. Up next, we have Sapinta, who says, "Nice, I enjoyed your reaction, discussion, and theories. This is such a good and deliberate show, and it has a mystery component that's laid out like a good mystery novel, giving you all the clues you need in advance before any revelation is displayed. You two seem to be paying attention, and it's going to be extremely rewarding paying attention to dialogue and visuals, down to seemingly meaningless shots. So to clarify, the names and how they use them. Takehaya Kiriko is the sister, Takehaya Haruki is the brother, and no surname Kiriko is in the blend. So they do like accent that differently. So it'd be Kiriko, Haruki, and Kiruko. Okay, so yeah, no, I see a little bit of the difference now.
The stab to the heart here, for me at least, is the knowledge that we didn't start delving into the Theta thoughts kind of stuff until episode 4, which kind of looks like we're just absently watching for the first 3 episodes. We comment on stuff, right? But it's not until episode 3 where we get the flashback that gives us the time thing, and then the noticing that the end credits changed to reflect, the two characters in one thing.
It's
So,
the building expectation. The gears start turning. We go, this is worth our time to think and talk about.
well, we also don't really notice the things that they say and do in episode 1, which is where this comic comes from, by the way, because we don't have anything to parse it next to. So it's yeah, we're paying attention because we're asking questions about the setting and all this other stuff, but it's not really until episode 4 that all of our brain the switch doesn't get flicked on until episode 4.
Still, thanks for all the nice words. We appreciate it. So, I think this is a part that they would actually like a whole lot. Theta, you got a whole bunch of thoughts over the whole last week where you've been investigating things very closely. So, why don't you go and tell us all the things you've been thinking?
Well, no, technically, it's more like the shows with Witch from Mercury where I do investigation. Since there's not a lot of investigation that can be done here, this is a lot of I sat around one night and just had a stream of thoughts that I wrote down.
The source, you saw it in a dream.
I mean, well, we will have the image that I'll bring up later, but that's an image from an older episode that just keeps coming back.
Right.
First off, Maru's tooth grew back. Since the events of last few episodes have basically been back to back, that means it broke and grew back over the course of 2 to 3 days. Even if Maru was somehow younger than we thought, and it was a baby tooth, that is still way too fast to grow.
Yeah, I think we've always had our suspicion of him being even weirder than displayed, and this is just sort of that subtle hint towards it, isn't it?
It could be, that's why I'm bringing it up. I think I'm pretty much vindicated on the whole Maru being Tokyo's son, which, I know, even if I'm not, just roll with me.
Okay.
Which then raises into question who Hiroku is that looks like him that he needs to inject with that serum. Odds seem likely that Kona is the dad, and we've got his ultimate fate. We've not seen his ultimate fate yet. Sorry, I'm reading the stuff that I wrote down, and I have this really annoying nose itch. It's distracting me every couple of seconds.
There you go. Okay, so they're twins separated at birth. That's what's going on.
Odds seem likely that Kona is the dad, and we've not seen his ultimate fate yet, but we know Hiroku Hiruka? Sorry, Hiruko. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, so just
Haruko.
know that's what I'm talking about. It's supposed to be a boy that looks just like him. If I had to guess, the woman that told Kiriko to guard him before she died was Tokyo herself. Uh, would explain where that woman got the jacket and gun from. Uh, we also know that these people grew up and had lives outside of heaven, as per the most depressing episode so far, which means that maybe we are going to see a birth later that involves twins.
Hey, there you go. The twins thing wasn't entirely spurious.
What do you
All
mean?
right, I was joking. It's like, oh yeah, Maru has like a twin separated at birth. It's like, wait, no, that actually might be true.
Oh, you don't even know the end of these things, that section. This is just the
Oh,
tip of the iceberg that sank the Titanic when it comes to.
that sank the submarine. Keep going.
Asura seemed to be the perfect merger of monster and human. They even had those same markings on their wings. At the
Hmm.
same time, maybe they were just near the end of a transformation and killed themselves to save all of their friends from what they would have become.
At the same time, they did indicate, or at least like I think the things we've been seeing so far is that if you die, then the monster hatches.
Oh, yeah, but Asura killed themselves and the monster didn't hatch.
Right. So something else is clearly going on. Gosh, this is the case of where I want to know what's so weird with her.
Well, that's why I said the impetus of that thought was that Asura was in the midst of like evolving into the final
Hmm.
form or whatever they were. Like they were the perfect merger of monster and human, which is why when they died, there was no other thing because that's what Asura just was. They
Hmm.
were what the facility was trying to make, and then they killed themselves.
Yeah. That's a good theory. I want to see the facility eventually come back around to it's like, yes, we've been doing this the whole time. we gotta see their villainization moment. Ah, writing it down for later, of course.
No. Sorry, I just had a flash of a thing that relates to one of my future Theta thoughts. Sorry, some of these are written in such an order that I can't just say my thought now because I'm like a lawyer in the midst of a trial and I have to get my evidence out there first before I can then make a claim because it won't make any sense if I say the claim first and then propose all my evidence.
Just do what I do and make spurious claims all over the place.
Back to the. I also love that I wrote a segue to some of the starts of these. Back to the Tokyo being the mother and also the woman that died telling Kuroko to protect Maru theory.
Hmm.
There were English speaking people in heaven last episode. Easy
Yeah,
guess would be evil American businessmen, but
because
alternate
of course.
theory here, maybe they were members of the United States Forces Japan, working in tandem with Japan Special Defense Forces, which might be the source of that jacket that Kuroko wears, by the way. That
Yeah.
Tokyo gets out of heaven with military aid at some point.
Hmm. So that's definitely a little bit. So the first premise is that their military is working together on this, and then the second premise is that the military puts an end to this.
No, first premise isn't even supposition. American Japan
Hmm.
the American military force in Japan does work with the Japan Special Defense Forces. That's not supposition. The supposition is that's who the English speaking people there that are obviously Americans are.
Hmm.
Second supposition is that Tokyo gets out with the help of military, Japan Special Defense Force, which is where the jacket comes from.
It
Not that,
could very well be an individual rebellion there. I think it could be smaller scale, but ultimately it comes down to how important is the jacket. Dancer, someone's got to wear it first, right?
yeah. Well, again, that's also where I said that Tokyo gets it from, and with the supposition that Tokyo is Maru's mother, and that's where Kirikou gets the jacket from, along with the gun that has the facilities thing on it.
Hmm.
That it all comes from Tokyo, who is the character that Kiriko didn't know that they were talking to when they were on their deathbed. Something that dips into your insane theories that might actually be true, based on how Asura looked and everything. Maybe aliens are real, and maybe the storyteller from last episode wasn't 100% full of shit. I mean, maybe he was retelling stories he heard from others, and is the last step in a long game of telephone. You're familiar with the game Telephone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So some of the details got mixed up and messed up. The uh, the cause of the disaster was aliens, and also a place filled with women and children that got killed when they tried to escape. Last episode, we saw that heaven was run by a woman, and I think the thing being pushed on us was that she was elevating other women into positions of power in the hierarchy instead of men, as per that one really upset researcher, the guy who also found the shoe print on the wall, that guy.
Yeah, there was also
Unless,
another
uh,
person there. Go ahead.
sorry, yeah, let me get to the end of the sentences and no. Unless that turns out to be our storytelling dude by the end. So, what if they have a containment protocol that restricts contact with the outside world to such a degree, especially after the whole monster disease thing, that they kill anyone attempting to leave without permission? Also, capitalized, what if the weird babies are a result of genetic modifications on humans with alien DNA? That the kid's special abilities and Asura's obviously alien appearance is a result of that.
Hmm. So at least on the alien things, like it's set up to be a possible red herring, but something that might become true because of other reasons. Like obviously the storyteller doesn't know the truth; he's just saying random shit. Whether or not it's random shit other people have said because it may have been true, who knows? It's positioned to be a potentially completely false narrative, and then it might just end up true later on by other means. So it's gonna be funny to see which way the bluff pulls on that. But on the elevating only female members, there was another scientist there that was also complaining about being passed up, who was also a woman. And so I don't think it's entirely
No,
just that she's elevating women to position of
that
power.
was a person that was following through on the wasn't that guy supposed to be getting promoted. She wasn't complaining herself. She was a person following up on why the fuck is that guy so upset,
Mm.
giving us the stuff that guy's not going to say himself. Uh,
Fair. Maybe it's been a week since I've seen the scene, so maybe I don't remember entirely. It's okay. But that was my initial impression anyway.
well, I go
Uh,
more into that later. So,
mhm.
now bringing up the image,
Oh, look at that. Pretty pictures.
Kona's pictures. One of Kona's pictures is of an egg with two people inside, Maru and this brother Hiroko that he's looking for? Question mark. One one looks like Majora's Mask Moon, and we got a story about an asteroid impact from the storyteller. What if there was an asteroid impact and that's where the alien DNA comes from? Or an alien vessel crashed and it's just interpretation? One looks like multiple bodies laying down together with a shared head, referring to the doctor's brain transplant stuff? Multiple people in one body? Does it
Mhm.
refer to Kirikou himself? Da, 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 da. One is a bunch of bodies with wings flying through the air. If Asura was a mix of person and alien, maybe that's what the aliens looked like? Winged people? Maybe that's why the egg picture is surrounded by wings too? Representation of the hybrid alien human egg?
Oh gosh, it's a Rosé Fawn crossover. It's eggs and wings, Theta. It's eggs and wings again. Continue.
Oh, I mean, that was the end of that specific thought. So I thought if you had actual feedback, that was your.
Oh, I was waiting until you got to the end of all of it. But since I guess we're there, so the most spurious one to me is the Doctor Head thing. Because so far the impression we have, I think, is that the things that draw are true things that come into existence, not necessarily controlling somebody's actions to make them do a thing 20 years down the line.
Well, we
That
don't know
seems
that.
like it's the least likely.
We don't know that, though. We
Hmm.
don't know. I mean, the assumption is that all of these pictures, because, like, the fish one, example, the fish thing from, what was that, episode 2 or 3? 4.
Yeah,
Episode
yeah.
4. The fish thing from episode 4 was a picture that he had drawn that we
Yes.
didn't see until 15 years later.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so it's not spurious. It's, in fact, shown to have happened before.
I guess maybe the counterpoint here is that we've seen the starting of his powers at work where he thinks a thing and then it becomes real. So it wouldn't be a pre-existing thing in the world, it'd be a thing that is then created.
Unless he also has the ability to see. Not just create, but also
They'd
to
have to
see.
show that. They'd have to show that.
I feel like they have. I
It's a
mean,
good
technically
question.
they have in that, again, the fish thing.
It could still be, of course, that we're the spurious ones, assuming that he is creating things and not instead that these are visions of things. But we would need the positive
No, I'm
confirmation
saying
of something.
the
Yeah,
fish thing
yeah.
is the positive in that he drew
Hmm.
the fish thing. The fish thing did not immediately exist anywhere.
Hmm. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on then.
So which means that he could only have seen the fish thing and not create the fish thing. Because once again, he drew it and it didn't immediately exist, unlike the I see a beam of light, you've been stabbed by a beam of light.
I think then if we back up to Asura, right? So Asura's shadow ends up looking like the little angels here, basically. That's what they're supposed to be. It's what they represent, I'm sure.
Well, there's only one
Um,
Asura, and there's many
there's only
there.
one Ashura. Ashura has one shadow, and then later on, one, we have an image of several of them. Two, we have people spotting them all over Japan after the disaster, supposedly. So there must be more than one and seen frequently
I
enough.
don't recall them being spotted all over Japan.
It's part of the storytelling thing. During the storyteller's story, he tells of exactly that.
I don't recall that part, but okay.
It was like a very short detail. It's like a throwaway.
Must have been I threw it away.
So, so where do the rest of them come from if it's supposed to be just Asura?
Well, I think
Who?
that's what
What's their drawing mean if there's more than just
I
one?
think I already gave that out. That's the
Yeah,
aliens.
your answer is the aliens. Good answer. Let's find out.
All right. If
And I need my damn space whale. All right, I see the whale there on the wall. You didn't mention the
I'm
whale.
not done
I
yet,
need the whale.
I've got whale shit.
Good, good.
Well, I kind of have whale shit. I kind of have a hand wavy whale shit thing. I'm not there yet though.
Okay, okay.
If
Well,
aliens are real, maybe the weird AI we saw earlier is just the alien. They captured one and kept it captive at this facility, and now it's doing all this experimentation stuff.
so it's just like sitting in an office room somewhere controlling the robot.
You remember? God, what was this episode? I want to say episode 4. I'm thinking like the weird shit always goes back to episode 4 to me. When the woman that's the director of the place in the wheelchair, she goes and talks to the AI, and we see this like big old blubble thing with a
Yeah.
weird head on it for no reason, and it's the AI, like it's the AI core or whatever, and it's like asking it questions and whatnot. What if
Hmm.
the alien's just in that thing? That is not an
Yeah.
AI. It's just literally they've got really cool robot shit, but they've also got a literal computer being controlled by an alien.
There's a couple other possibilities too. The machine could also just be a long range telephone of some sort, i.e., he's telecommuting from another planet or something, and the AI core is just the radio.
Well,
Whatever.
I mean,
That would be
I
fine
don't
too.
think you
Same
draw off
difference
Majora's
there.
Mask if you are just
Yeah.
communicating with people on different planets. Clearly, they're here.
Hmm. There's also the. Didn't we have a thing where we're like, hey, isn't that a weird portal thing?
No?
Maybe no, there was like a weird portal thing because I started saying it's like maybe they're from other dimensions or something.
No,
Or something stupid like
you
that.
brought up the whole other dimension thing apropos of nothing. There was never a portal.
There in that scene, there was in the room. It definitely looked like there was a weird special portal thing.
No.
Maybe there's a Stargate involved. All right, that's all I'm
No,
saying. Maybe they are here already.
even when you brought up the whole it
They
might have
look.
been another dimension thing, there was never a portal, and you never mentioned a portal in your they're from another dimension thing when you brought it up either. This
They
portal thing is just now you're bringing it
they
up.
live among us, Theta. They live among us. I want to believe.
I'm just saying there was never a portal, Griffin.
The truth is out there, Theta.
It's not. That show's been off the air for a while. And when it came back, it wasn't even well received.
The truth is out there. Q, we literally never discovered the truth. Yeah, great show. So, what's next on your list?
I'm going to make a massive guess. Yes.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to make a massive guess based on Kona's pictures. Good, I never put them down. And all the speculation so far about what happened to mankind that led to this story. Aliens came to Earth to warn mankind of an imminent asteroid impact. The sky whales picture might be their ship. The flying people picture might be them. But humans captured the aliens and kept them locked up in a facility. The picture of a massive smiling thing surrounded by people. In the facility, they did genetic experiments on the aliens and combined their DNA with babies. The four-body picture. The asteroid hit because we did nothing to stop them. Angry moon picture. Then Tokyo escaped the facility pregnant with hybrid twins. The two-body egg picture. Conversely, the flying whales represent the destruction of the facility in a red herring about a reference when an Oregon town blew up a beached whale, creating the meme Nuke the Whales, and thus the image representing. Let me finish cooking.
Yeah,
And
go
thus
ahead.
the image representing a nuclear blast where the facility is and in an Andromeda strain style containment to ensure that nothing escaped.
Nuke the whales. That's all I gotta say.
Look at the picture, Griff. Look at the picture.
uh,
What's happening on the ground level behind the whale
it's
or
a
below the
teeny.
whale?
It's a nice, lovely evening in the forest.
Lore is the forest on fire, and being Japan, we didn't want to draw a picture of a nuclear blast, so we
Oh
used
no, no, no,
memes.
no! They would do it hands
We
down if so.
used red herring style memery in order to implicate the nuke the whales meme. The whales are actually the top of the mushroom cloud in this picture, showing the fires below. And this is actually the Andromeda strain where they think they're about to release the virus thing that's going to kill all of mankind, so they're going to nuke the facility from the inside. Well, this is an homage to Andromeda strain, the flying whales picture. It's just indicating that they destroyed the facility after Tokyo escaped.
All I can think of with using memes to inform the story here is that like we're gonna find the aliens and Pop Team Epic is gonna walk out.
All I'm saying is, if you can go alternate dimension heaven, then I can pull out a short story about Oregon and how they blew up a beached whale.
Hey, I ain't discounting your theory. But is that the final Theta thought?
Yes, I believe this is how our future happened.
This is how the insanity begins. But let's talk about the insanity last time real quick with Children of the Nursery, just to go over what happened. Some years ago in heaven, the being named Asura, who had the ability to heal and levitate, appeared before Kona to say goodbye before unexpectedly hanging itself. Meanwhile, in hell, Kiriko finds that Usami held a button with the bird logo when he died. Following the small earthquake, Maru and Kiriko encounter Juichi, who offers to sell them information. He tells them that the three theories concerning the origin of the great disaster, a meteor, an alien invasion, and a war. He then talks about living inside a walled
Oh,
town where
wait, Griff, while you're in the middle of reading.
Yeah.
You know what else would make people think that a war happened? A
A war?
nuclear bomb going off!
There you go. He then talks about the living inside a walled town where he was used as a worker and a breeding pig for the governing woman before he escaped. After Kiriko dismisses his tales, she discovers that they are outside Takahara Academy, which used the bird logo. When Maru and Kiriko investigate the abandoned building, Kiriko finds a document describing how it functioned as a type of school for orphans. Back in heaven, the director shockingly reveals Tokyo is pregnant. Wow, way to summarize that, Lucy. All right, so I think that basically covers everything from last time. I suppose the interesting thing here in the person writing down our summary is that they referred to Asura as a they. No gender. What do you think?
I mean, I wouldn't have been able to guess what gender they were. Apropos of, everything else. Like, if you were to put
Fair enough.
Asura to stand out in a field by themselves, with, like, nobody, like, no character art direction known to me, no one to then judge them on based on any other person around them, I would
In
not have been
completely
able.
neutral hospital gown, yeah.
I would not have been able to guess. So, yeah.
So definitely, I think the writer here is definitely on board with they're probably an alien theory, which totally fair. So let's see. I think that's everything that happened last time. I'm not sure there's much more for us to go over unless we got room for one more theory. What do you think?
What you got?
No, I was asking if you got.
No, you can't prompt us like that and leave us hanging. What you got, Griff?
What I got is that you should leave your theory down in the comments before we get started. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm and our conspiracy board. On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some really excellent stuff, you can check it out over the Patreon. It is $5 a month, but no pressure. It's all support channel, just a little bit extra.
茨城と奈良ってのはどのくらい遠いの？
いっぱい遠い。でも、まあ奈良より茨城の方がまだ。
Oh no, the Wall Town story's true.
You say a word so many times it means anything anymore.
He's just doing his rhyme routine. He's gonna be a rapper.
5時間ではつかないかもしれません。いや、地震のせいで道がですね。
どのくらいかかるの？
わかりません。
Also, the first time we've gotten the credits in the intro.
型にはめようっていう腹ではあるまいな。
しませんよ、そんなこと。さっき言ってたことは本当でしょうか？
I was about to say, didn't he drive off earlier? I guess they found him again.
I was gonna ask too. So I was really stumped.
種豚の話は本当です。いずれ準備を整えたら復讐するつもりでした。
それで銃を欲しがってたのか？
お姉ちゃん、こっちは本物の入れ墨だ。
Wait, but the other one was fake?
一応聞くが、場所はどこだ？
I think after 15 years, gas would start breaking down. I mean, would be broken down.
この辺りです。
ほぼ茨城じゃないか。
I guess if it's stored in a closed container, it might keep better.
船だろ。
Gotta check you aren't robbed. Oh, he's just dead.
失礼しました。大丈夫ですか？でも、
I mean, you were creeping on
こ
him.
れで信用してもらえました？
11。確認するだけなのは変わらんぞ。
それで十分です。
I do like all my supposition in the Theta's thought section revolved around this asshole, and he's back.
He's back again and at it again.
Makes me feel less wrong all of a sudden because he's back.
気になってしまったもので。
What the fuck?
There it is. we've just become normal anime now. The series has
I mean,
changed.
there's been a lot more cartoony animation going on in this episode already than the entire thing so far.
はあ
あの町では胸の大きい女性は敵です。ジャンパーの前は閉めてください。町に住む代わりに胸を切られた人がいました。
女同士なのになんでそんなひでえことを。
少年を監禁して炭入れるようなイカれた連中ですよ。何考えてるかなんてわかりません。
What the hell is going on with this place?
バカ男が一緒の方がよっぽど危険だろ。
あ、そういう方向だったらいいものがあります。
This is all a trick to have her keep her jacket zipped up so that they don't grab the gun.
これでどうかな。
なんだよ、かわいいじゃん。
なんで複雑そうなんだ。
おい、純一、どっちがかわいい。
え、そりゃお姉さんですよ。女性ですし。
But not really, so it's very confusing.
なんだこの人。いやだから。
うるさい。
こちらです。
I mean, at this point, all we really needed Maru to say, you know, this whole time I've actually really identified as a woman. Just to be all very confused.
こちらから見えるということはあちらからも。
あった、わかってる。じゃあ行ってくる。
荷物あさんじゃねえぞ。
And then he drives off with all of it.
そんなこと。
人の荷物を漁るやつがいるんだよ。
あの子だろ、ホテル王の。元気にしてるかな。
元気にしてるといいけどな。
Well, the way this world works, she's dead. Just consider her dead.
お邪魔しますよっと。
Or a supposedly active community. Seems very not active anymore.
というより、瓦礫なんだわ。
これをもう。
人が住んでいた感じはするが。
スミカがボロくなって引っ越したんじゃないか。
だとしたら種豚は。もう少し探そう。
What's a school got with jail cells?
足元には気をつけなよ、常に。
気をつけてるつもりなんだけどな。あ、こりゃいいね、袋。
I think maybe my thing of them
なんかさ、
never crossing the actual path of the heaven story is going to be true.
This definitely seems very far tangent to it, doesn't it?
途中のページ、日付だけで終わってる。これは。
なんだ、急に
Monster.
Lucky water kicking.
That this place failed because there's a monster in here somewhere.
人がいた。近くにいると探せ。また目がくっつく。
That is some intense frosting over.
This is the day after tomorrow shit.
Yeah.
やっぱり視力が。
And then it also instantly goes away, jeez.
Yeah, what is going on with the art this episode?
なんで上だとわかった。
That was a
guess instead
different
of-
art style too.
かよ。
I'm not complaining, it's like they're making this choice for a reason.
It's all in their heads, it's all a story, I don't know.
That's my first thought. They never went with this guy, he drugged them, something, you know?
お姉ちゃん逃げるんじゃなかったの。
One, why? Two, the monster's
Temperature?
definitely the child.
Temperature, maybe?
Yeah, just trying to keep track of it, I guess.
Or if it's about to freeze you, blow ice in its waist. I don't. Bubble, pop a bubble.
Throws the bubble.
I mean, that's a gamble, though. To guess that's what was happening.
Oh, that thing is huge.
Well, it was.
Was, yeah.
ない。入れることには入れるけど、核が見当たらない。
半分逃げていったけど、あっちが本体か。
Half of it ran away.
帰るの？ねえ、お姉ちゃん。
ある。
Say this, if I kept getting instantly frozen like that, the least I'd have was a headache.
I'm sure they're not feeling super great. Yeah, they were only supposed to investigate, I guess.
そんでヒルコ、人食いが住み着いてる。
子供どころか敵すらもういなかったんですね。
廃墟に人食いが作ってて、誰もいないってだけだ。建物がボロくなったから引っ越しして、その後人食いが済んだのかもしれない。11、希望を捨てちゃダメだ。
おーい、そこの釣り部3人組。
誰だった？
American?
Oh gosh.
間違いないって。そんなこと。ほら、やっぱりだ。種豚11号じゃないか。生きてたのか。種豚6号さん、9号さん。その名前で呼ぶんじゃねえ。そっちが先に呼ぶから合わせたんでしょうが。
俺たち今別のところに住んでて。
This feels like that Keenan and Kel joke about human centipede people finding each other again.
でな、お前が脱走して女が2人処刑されて1月くらい経った頃かな。お前の息子がひどい夜泣きをしてな。女たちの尺に触ると何されるかわかんねえからみんなであやしてたんだ。
Alright, there's multiple people corroborating the story now.
怪物が侵入してきたのは
起きてたおかげで俺たちは怪物が壊したところから逃げることができたんだ。
ほーら10号、お父ちゃんだぞ。
僕じゃない、あっちだ10号。ほら。よかったな。敵は全滅だし、子供は無事だし、最高じゃねえか。
That's a win.
金取っても心が痛まんな。
Yeah, technically a win for everybody.
See US Air Force, what'd I say?
さいな。
Not the Japanese Air Force.
What I want to know is why is the least believable story he told the one that's true?
At least believable.
I guess the aliens have to be true now.
11、食えよ。君の歓迎会なんだぜ。
15のことをありがとう。 君が面倒を見てくれてたんだって。
君の息子なんだ。当然だよ。あのさ、11。
今日は寒かったからありがたいな。
Ah, hot tubs of the apocalypse.
Well, they're all over the place. We've seen them before.
Oh yeah.
あったまってお腹いっぱいにくくったから眠い。
明日はどうする？
茨城の施設の場所調べて行ってみよ
どうやって調べるの？
う。一応当てはある。
喋ってる途中で寝た。
消すぞ。
Just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Something bad's about to happen.
I know. I'm like tensing up. I was like, it's something bad. Oh, here it is. It got followed.
おいマル、起きろ。
お姉ちゃん、これは
間違いない。みんな外に出ろ。この寒いの人食いの攻撃だ。
11はい
ないのか。
11がいない。
Oh, they're both dead.
本当か。
リーダーと15もいない。逃げ遅れたんだ。
Oh, that's 4 dead.
早く家から出ろ。11。
気絶してるだけだ。それより15を頼む。
全員道に出て走り回れ。まともに食らい続けたら1分で死ぬぞ。落ち着け。頭は嫌というほど冷えてる。
So I'm saying, at the very least, you'd be getting a headache.
おかしいぞ。
Is it chasing
走
her?
っても走っても冷気から抜けられない。肺がこれ僕を追ってきているのか。ならなぜ敵の姿が見えない。足音もしない。まずい。昼間に見切ったと思った攻撃
I mean, worse off, you're also running away from the only people who can help you. Or is it a dream? Okay.
Oh, that is severe frostburn.
やんだ。
It's the kid. Oh my gosh. Of course it is.
近づいちゃダメだ。
離せ。赤ちゃんが死ぬ。見殺しにする気か。
違う。あの子がヒルコだ。
But the kid wasn't at the other place, though.
俺にはヒルコの気配みたいなものがわかる。
Wait, was the guy the other half?
あの子が冷却攻
No,
撃
he's
をしてるんだ。
unconscious. Okay, fucking Akira.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, let's get a little spooky.
Okay, so when he's asleep is when it comes.
寒いのが収まった。
なんともないみたいだな。はいはいはい。もうすぐ僕のお腹の中のもの摘出できるんだって。そうしたら学校に戻ってコナにも会えるんだって。
Oh, this is how it starts. They start drawing evil things that grow inside of you. Dumb misinterpretations in telephone.
もうすぐ生まれます。
沢渡先生。
大丈夫です。
あとはこれも10年前に期限は切れてますが、ないよりはマシでしょう。
ありがとう。本当にもらっちゃっていいのか。
まだ同じ薬はありますから。
そうじゃなくて車だよ。
How are you gonna deal with a kid every night, though?
旅をする理由はありませんし。それに、ここにある車。
That's a real good
いい
question.
車なんですよ。
そっか、そうだよな。
Oh, but our boys are getting an upgrade in car.
それじゃあ11、息子に投資させられないよう気をつけろよ。
See you.
Okay, they did tell them. Oh.
No gas.
おかしいな。
お姉ちゃん。
分かってるよ。行くぞ。
Really ruining the goodbye there.
何が大変だよ。
焦ると余計にかかんないだろ。皆さん、これから新しい仲間をお迎えします。皆さんはこれからとても大事な時期を迎えます。何が起きたとしても正しい未来へ。迷った時は自分の心に従ってください。ふわっとした話だな。それでは新しい仲間5期生の皆さんです。
New orphans, everybody.
There's a blood splatter on his face.
Everybody's already dead again.
Buzzsaw.
あの夜のことです。僕が脱走した夜。
The truth.
脱走だー。脱走だ
ー。すぐに叫び声が響きました。裏切ったのは脱走した僕なのでしょうか。これは逆恨みなのでしょうか。もう僕には分かりません。ただ一つだけ確かなこと。
They looked after your son, man.
母親を殺したのはそれではまたいつか。
Oh,
I don't feel any particular way about it. I mean, he got his revenge.
the thing still happened. It just took a while.
分かった。行くから。
They're just good on the double bluffs.
No double bluff.
気ぃつけろクソバカ。おい、あれってうちの車じゃ。
That's a large fox.
Oh, hey, wild animals do exist.
See you. Bye bye.
It's gonna crash, the kid's gonna die and turn into another man-eater. What a weird little side story by the looks of it.
They never really explained the art changes either.
My assumption right now is that if they're budging the show, instead of spending the least on the last episode, they just chose a random interstitial episode and then just lowered that a little bit.
But yeah, a lot going on. I mean, I feel like maybe that place was what was left of the researchers of heaven after the fall. And that they were continuing experiments just on, locked up men in cages and children.
I can definitely feel you there. But, like, the kid's got a superpower, right?
Which is why
And that
I
means...
think that it's the same people,
Mhm.
that they're continuing their experiments just in a lower setting, and they've
Yeah.
created another one of the things.
On the non-conspiratorial side, though, Maru totally picked up the kid, moved them around, didn't say anything about a monster piece inside of him or anything.
Well, he has to activate that. So
And
he didn't activate it. That's the easiest explanation. Because he has to put his hand on and then reach in with his power. If he was like, shit, I have to save Kiriko's life, grabs kid, puts kid down over there, he's not doing the extra steps.
But I mean, like, even on like a casual observation, if they just fought a man-eater with the freezing power, and then there's this kid who's about to freeze everyone and kill everyone, is the kid a man-eater? And Maru shuts his mouth about it.
Well, Mara's also going through the regret of having to kill people from episodes ago. But
Right,
as I'm
I
saying,
can't imagine after 24 hours he's ready to kill a kid right after.
as
That'd
I'm
be a
saying,
bit
we
much,
saw
though.
Kiriko's hands are like blood red because she's dying to this kid. So
Mhm.
Maru isn't, hey, I better investigate this now. I've got to save the person I've fallen in love with.
Mhm.
So it's very much not an investigation scenario, right? If you're in the middle of D&D and your whole party's at 1 hit point, and the thing you've been chasing for the last 20 sessions runs past, you're not gonna I'm gonna be dead if I investigate this, but I might as well roll for perception. No, you're gonna
They still had like a
survive.
whole other day to like think about it and talk about it. They even got the car.
Yeah, but they didn't investigate. Also, they're going through some shit. Also, Jericho, man.
He's gosh, yeah. This was definitely his episode covering the weird ass story he had last time.
Well, the
And
guy
like,
who raised his kid basically turns out was
was the
also the one who betrayed him when he tried to escape. The one who tried to crab bucket him back in with everybody.
oh gosh, yeah. No, like there's a whole arc there, ending in bloody revenge, leading to him just like driving away with his kid. I guess at least that's sort of a happy ending for him. I don't know. It's the situation is always hard to like follow
I
through
mean,
with,
my
right?
assumption is that he's driving back to somewhere that he knows the
Mhm.
people who did this are still around.
Still or at least going someplace where people maybe aren't crazy. I don't know.
No, I'm assuming he's going back to the researchers that he knows still exist.
You think he also happens to know more about that than he actually let on?
Yes,
Oh dear. Oh, that's gonna be a whole thing there.
that
Oh
he's bringing
jeez.
the kid back to them.
They're gonna cross paths again. Yeah, I can see it.
Or not. I've
So
already brought up the heaven storyline is not really going to cross over. I mean, I know my whole theory is that one of them is the son of one of the ones that escapes. I'm just saying that I also have the theory that the story is not going to cross over. That you're going to end unsatisfied.
oh yeah. Which that's perfectly fine. It just feels so weird to have like this completely tangential story, but I guess maybe that's like again, what we've been talking about, what the show is about. They're just on a trip and stuff happens.
That you can
They
have
never get to
very
heaven.
important protagonists or very able protagonists in a world where a thing is happening and you also know that thing is happening and the two
Mhm.
things don't have to deal with one another. Like, you can have a story set in the real world, right? With a character who has some sort of weird power and they solve their hometown problem of the mayor's been you know, trying to get money about this mining operation, but the mining operation is putting poison into the water, and this story revolves around this hero of the town who solves everything. You know what the hero of that town didn't do? Solve poverty from the greater world. He didn't solve the looming war between Russia, China, and America. I'm just saying, there's greater threats in worlds with heroes that exist.
And
Right?
just because the thing is happening doesn't mean that that person necessarily has to be the one who solves it.
Right. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
I think the final thing on my mind is that as a sort of very tangential story, I think the entire point this episode exists is for our main characters to get the car.
Well, no, because the
Now
car
they can
breaks
drive
down.
to whatever plot point they need
The
to.
car's broken down.
My
I
suspicion
just
is that they
destroyed the
fix it
whole
before they leave.
episode for you, Griff.
Sorry.
The whole you started off with the only reason this episode exists is so they can get the car. The car's broken down, Griff. Shit, this episode's meaningless.
I think next episode we're gonna go back and see like they fix it up and they kept driving. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. They were 5 feet away from the place they just left.
Right, the place they just left wasn't a mechanic. So
Yeah.
I don't understand why you think that the place they just left was all that important. Also, by the way, Jericho killed a man and drove off, and we saw the people there scrambling. Our 2 people weren't still there. So they clearly didn't just go back.
All I'm thinking is in my own narrative mind, it would be very expedient to give our main characters a car in towards the last 2 episodes, just so that they can get to where they need to go really fast, and we wrap it up for the season. That's what I'm thinking.
I see that as being pointless because literally we see them travel, and they just end up fast traveling anyway. So the
that's true.
The means of travel is not important, so I don't see why we would base an entire episode on them just getting a means of travel. We would just fast forward to the next location. I think the entire point of this episode was the baby and the Kiai, who clearly knew more than he was letting on, going to the facility.
I do think my hype moment for this episode alone, though, was definitely Kiriko just being a badass, figuring out exactly what the monster's power was, and then just immediately solving the problem in that hallway. That was very cool.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, she should have been dead. He should have been dead.
Yeah.
Because you're just guessing. It's like, they're freezing stuff. Well, because imagine the first time they got attacked by it, they weren't looking around, and literally, he was the first one to go down. So you also never saw any bubble or anything. So this was just a guess based on nothing. And what? I think a better chance was that they were just going to freeze their mouth shut. Like, spit into the thing, instantly freeze. Shit.
Still a badass moment. I still liked it.
It was dumb. It was dumb in retrospect. It's like any time, like, I'm going to jump into the dragon's mouth and stab it from the inside, where its armor class is less. It's as dumb a thought as that is.
Hey, if our heroes are competent, we gotta show them being really competent sometimes. I still remember the episode where they're just stuck on a perch looking down at a bear.
Right, which is where they typically are. You know, in a weirdly not competent, like, look, there's gotta be something on this boat that absorbs water. You know, they're typically incompetent competency. So, suddenly figuring out the thermodynamics of a freezing ball, like, suddenly now I think this guy could fight Sub-Zero because they're figuring shit out that I don't think they have any real right.
There we go.
This was a very weird episode between the art style, the fact they're figuring stuff out that seems weirdly competent, more so than they've ever been. God, the revenge story, the first, second Asura character that we've ever gotten. There's a lot's going on.
I think real quick, just popping back on Heaven, with the 2 administrators are passing themselves in the hallway, they're just like, hey, it's about to be born. Do you think they're actually referencing the things that were in the incubation tanks, not the actual pregnancy?
Or do you mean the bug egg thing from the burnt body before? Well, that's a third thing. You didn't mention it. One.
Right. That's a third possibility, but it wasn't the one on my mind. The one on my mind was, of course, the just the things that were the incubation cages, and I'm wondering, I wonder if the new students count number the exact same.
Oh, that's obviously the 5th years. They're not born; they were already born.
Right. Well, they just had that creepy conspiracy vibe to them, you know.
Oh, they had Children of the Corn vibe to them, but
Exactly.
But the first time we saw the kids in heaven, they had the same look to them, and now they're just older. No, Born is either Tokyo or the egg thing, but I'm gonna get rid of the egg thing because we know it's not the egg thing because it's not a fucking egg. We're the only ones calling it an egg, you and me. In this thing, they're calling it some sort of bug thing, so
Right.
it's not an egg, so it can't be born because it's already born. So obviously they must be talking about Tokyo, and they seemed scared of it.
Oh, ooh. Yeah. So I was saying earlier, Tokyo sent message that
Oh, real
they're
sorry, real quick. I know I don't want. It's horrible to interrupt you in the middle of your thing, but
sure.
this is the thing I brought up into Theta's thoughts, and we can. I think you just like brushed it off, and I never brought it up again.
Mhm.
My thing that I was saying was Jericho might be that guy from that scene that we just saw. At the end with the two people crossing each other.
Oh, you think
The
so?
the researcher who saw the shoe print on the wall, that guy who was in this scene, I think might be Jericho.
He's got like a different vibe, though. I
Same
don't
hair,
know.
same kind of face little features.
The
I mean,
hair's
it
a bit
doesn't.
different, but
Well, yeah,
maybe that
because
just deserves a
yeah, he's
comparison.
post-apocalypse version of that guy. That guy who could get haircuts and wash his hair. But I mean, it doesn't explain what happens after everything, but it does tie him to the researchers that I think he's driving to now as well,
Mhm.
and the fact he looks older. Um, I don't think it gets rid of any of his backstory flashbacks either. That this is all shit that happens after Heaven goes down.
Right. All right then.
Anyway, you
Uh,
were saying.
I was saying, so the weird pregnancy thing. Tokyo is messaging that like they're going to remove it and putting a lot of negativity into it. And I think my implication was like this is how it gets started. They end up drawing something that grows inside of a person negatively. And so we end up with our alien scenario because he specifically is starting to draw these things as he's been interpreting them through telephone here, basically. What was just a pregnancy that she can't talk about is now an weird bug thing that grows inside of people. And then he draws it and thinks about it inside of her, and that's what kills her later.
As per our discussion in the before time, as I like to
Yeah.
call it now, in the long, long ago. Uh, 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 Kona, we have a different interpretation of Kona's abilities. I think he
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
I think he has vision, but he also has creation. So
Mhm.
I think his drawings are just an act of his vision, not his creation. His creation tends to be something that he actively makes in the moment, and a bunch
Yeah.
of his pictures aren't actively made in the moment. I'd also like to point out it looks like Tokyo is um, like a time skip has happened in our heaven
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
because Tokyo looks like she's a bit older.
There's a lot of stuff happening. I'm very certain all the heaven stuff is completely out of order, so it just
I
that
don't.
needs to be resorted.
I don't think it's out of order. I mean, obviously it is. Sorry, it is out of order. I think what we're getting is mostly in order, with a couple of
Mhm.
flashbacks to out of order stuff. But
Yeah.
like, I don't think Tokyo is like years older. I think she's months older. Her hair's grown out. She's not wearing the same clothes, etc., etc. And she's
Yeah, they did
near the
definitely time skip through the pregnancy
yeah,
things
she's
like
near the end of her pregnancy. Well, I mean, I'm bringing it up because I think 1 or 2 episodes ago, I had mentioned how long into the pregnancy I thought she was at that time, versus how old Maru might be in my
that.
preliminary thoughts of Maru being related to Tokyo,
Yeah.
apropos of this current episode's deep dive into Tokyo and Maru being related.
Yeah. All right then. I think that's all the words I got for here today, Theta. What about you?
Well, I heard your alarm clock going off on your desk there, probably signaling that somebody wants your attention. So,
Yeah, definitely. So then let's go ahead and wrap it up for the day. This has been Stone Face Reactions, everybody. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we will catch you next time. See you around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?